Hi guys, it's time for the last commander in NEXUS COOP. It's time for Selendis. Now, how Selendis works, she has a unique way of harvesting. Has flying probes called NEXUS Legates, and they can fly around. And when they siege up, they provide power field like pylon, and they are detectors then. And when you order them to click on the minerals, they will automatically siege up and start harvesting. And they morph structures like Zerg. They actually become structures. So you see now I warped in one legate over here, and its legate costs 75, so it's a little more expensive. 75 minerals and also gas 75. So when you have 150, you just warp in, or you can first warp in a legate and then transform it into the geyser. You see this is on cooldown, just 10 seconds. So now when I'm done with this, I need to go to expansion. So I warp one over here. You can warp them into the power field of Nexus or the other legate. And I first have to come here because to generate the power field. And now I can morph in the power field. Okay, on the replay it's kind of not shown, but it shows them. Provides power fields, and you also don't have to clear the main rock obviously because they harvest minerals, but gas rocks, you see there are two circles, one representing rocks and one representing geyser itself. So you have to warp your legate directly onto the small circle. If you have small circle on the cursor, you see now warp in, otherwise it doesn't work. It doesn't work if you now I missed, you see it's doesn't work if you first click on first make a worker and then want to do the geyser. You have to warp directly into the small circle, and then the geyser will be done without even clearing rocks. Okay, so enemy is coming. Now this is Rifts to Korhal. This thing is overcharged, but if you have something like Zerglings, it has slow fire rate, so they will destroy it. So it was I believe a clutch save. Okay, now I make a gateway and all the so Selendis has two forms. This was a pretty clutch save. I used the mothership. This is the ground form and this is the mothership form. Okay, I use Planet Cracker. Planet Cracker is available every minute, every 60 seconds, but it's not so powerful as Tassadar's Planet Cracker in the terms of the range and the duration and the actual damage, because it clears units, good at clearing units, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. It's not good against high HP targets like void shards or so, or high HP structures. So it's for clearing attack waves and units, enemy bases of units. And you have this peace field that is reducing all damage taken to Selendis to maximum of 10, and also increases Selendis movement speed for 25%. So when you have to, it doesn't have teleport like Tassadar's things, so you want to move faster, you just activate this. And okay, I have some upgrades here. Okay, we'll get to this later. So only production structure and Nexi. So for optimal production, you need 8 Nexi, 4 for ground units, 4 for air units. Okay, and how it works is you click on assemble forces, and then you can the Nexus produces it doesn't warp in. I mean directly, you would later warp in, but when you have them on the panel above the Nexus. And in the mothership form, air units are actual fighting units, and when you have the when you have Selendis like this in Zealot or Adept form, the air units become kind of spells. They become orbital support, and when you use them, they are spent. And it's opposite for ground units. When you have Selendis on the ground units are actual fighting units, and when you have the mothership on the field, then they become spells. So unless the unit die when they are in real fighting form, when you recall them by recalling the current form of Selendis, they are on standby and you can use them again. So unless they die, of course, they won't be wasted. Okay, so Selendis have Psionic Boomerang and this Blade of Fury, and this actually the thing that actually changes form from Adept to Zealot and back. Okay, so in Adept form she can attack air, in Zealot form of course she cannot. So now I'm building a Stargate and another Nexus. Okay, so these structures only take structures for units. So Stargate is for Oracle and for Phoenix, and when you build the Fleet Beacon, then you can build Void Rays and Carriers, while this thing, gateways for high Chanters, they are kind of high Templar, but work different. And also Zealots and Zealots Adepts are only one unit and they are pretty powerful. And also when you can build okay, let me see if I can click. Okay, yeah, I can click here. Okay, so you can build a Templar Archives or Robotics Bay. The Templar Archives are for Archons and Robo Bay is for Colossi. And you have Forge. Forges are for Selendis upgrades and for attack the armor and shield upgrades. And you have Cyber Core for attack and armor upgrades for the air units. So research is done very fast. The upgrades, attack, armor, shield upgrades are done normal speed, kind of normal proto speed, but these researches are done really fast. Okay, and I'm going to show you. Okay, now while we are in this replay, I'm going to show you carriers first. Okay, let me. Yeah, you have these things. These that look like pylon. You have to twice upgrade the efficiency and the supply. So for Nexus operational efficiency to produce faster and to can hold more units. And note that okay, let me now I don't have units. I show you later. Okay, you see that now I have this Nexus has 3 carriers. Actually, no, 4 carrier. One is just done. See, not even warped yet. Warped completely the image, and this one has 2. So so when you call one, you can call them in a power field. Okay, did I do this time? I think didn't. So when you call them, you cannot add, like when you're producing more of this Nexus, you cannot add them, because when the expeditionary force of one Nexus is on field, you have to actually regroup or recall the mothership and then start again. And this one has 2. So I have 4 Nexus because I was going pure air here. And okay, let me show you how they work. Okay, so the interceptor damage is base damage is 8. I believe I don't have any upgrade. Oh yeah, I have 1 plus 1, so it's I think 7. And they also have dimensional jump. And they have this fire clearance thing that gives interceptor splash damage actually, and and also with, they attack with the main cannon here for additional damage. So that cannon thingy. Okay, so they are pretty powerful, and they are one of the units that you can use as a multi-purpose units and just mass them. Yeah, they are just mass carriers. Even with a few carriers, it's pretty powerful army. Okay, and they can hold up to 9, 10, 11, 12 interceptors. Yeah, 12 interceptors. So they are can hold more interceptors than normal carriers. Okay, now I'm going to the attack. I believe I didn't use Planet Cracker over here, just to see how carriers can do, and as you can see, they destroy these pretty quickly. Usually carriers kind of suck against a big number of units like Zerg or Zerglings, mute a lot of stuff here, but as you can see, they did that wave pretty fast. Okay. By the way, as you can see, they can use that dimensional jump only when they are in power field. Okay, yeah, I have this. It's always good to have forward thing, forward pylon, forward legate. I mean, it works like pylon. So you have to change the. You have to warp in Selendis or units forwards. So you have the power field over here, and it's also detector, and it's cloaked when it's in sieged mode. Okay, so attack wave is coming. I am finishing this just in time, and now when I recall I have to recall the mothership, and it's, you see, some cooldown 30 seconds. So now I have to use the Selendis in the ground form, and now you can see that these carriers kinda. They are now shown differently. They are kind of form of spells, and now of course Selendis cannot clear this on her own. So I'm using one of these carriers as a spell, and now you can see that this is pretty powerful. It kinda creates this meteor shower that has cleared the wave, but that carrier is spent. I won't get it back. So this is how this works. Okay. Okay, so we have those war tuners that are actually mini form of Selendis. They can also switch from the adept. They were present depth form, but they can switch into zealot form. So see, these ones are in, I believe, in zealot form. Yeah, they have slash, and they can only attack ground, while these are in adept form. Can attack ground and air, and they are multi-purpose units, so you can just mass them and win. It's pretty powerful. I mean, they are cheap and fast produced, so that's the benefit of having them. So the best thing is actually probably to combine. So when you have to have some ground forces like war tuners when you are in the ground form, and have like carriers or void rays when you are in air form. So this time I didn't have air because I was just testing units, just one type of unit, to see what they can do, and I was able to win this pretty comfortably just using these war tuners. Okay, I'm gonna show you their spell form. Okay, one more thing, we have also cannons. Photon cannons, they are more expensive. They cost 250, but they do more damage, 30 and 60 versus armored, and they have 8 range. So they also can phase shift with cooldown 30, and they don't just like Zeratul cannons project, but they actually transfer themselves into the power field, but they have to transfer into power field because they cannot operate out of the power field. So when Selendis warps in and transforms, she leaves behind this power field. But I also have this Nexus Legate providing power field, so yeah, Cannon can do this, and also shield battery, like restores 200 shields to the face cannon after use. So this is kinda cannon and the shield battery in one. So now I'm going to try to fight the bonus with the mothership. It has 5,500. Again, you can see mothership is actually not very good against high HP targets. And use the planet cracker, didn't do much. Now I'm attacking it, and it takes a long time. So yeah, mothership is not really the fighting unit. The planetary cracker and is the best thing she has for the masses of enemies, not for high HP targets. Okay, now the enemies are arriving, and I will be using these war tuners as spells. You see, I warp in a few, and you can see that they are pretty effective. They cannot be attacked, and they are very effective against enemies. They kill them pretty fast, but they don't last long. So yeah, those phantoms, you can use them if needed. Okay, we now have Archons. I thought it was video whenever I used the high Chanters, but here I used Archons, so let me show Archons first. So Archons are pretty much also multi-purpose things, and you can see that he also normal Archon, like 350 shield and health, but they look bigger, and they are kind of different because well, they have that shield leech, actually all units have, but they do a lot of damage. 63. Okay, this is, I think they are this is +1, no, +2 attack. So base damage is 50, I think. Not sure. Have to check what it will be when I get +3. And it's highly unlikely they will ever die, and they are fully melee. So you see, range melee, they have no range. Normal Archons have T-Rex arms, but these guys are completely melee. But you can see that they look stronger, kind of muscle arms, and they really are. They are Tyson Furies of the Protoss, because they kind of deal damage by boxing enemies. You see, and they do a lot of damage to ground and to air. So so they are really good multi-purpose unit, and you can just mass them. And okay, now I don't have a lot of them, but they are already considerable force. You see, when they do damage, they recharge shields, and they pretty much kill everything.
Detecting newly summoned void shards. It's our job to blast them apart.
So when you have like 20 of these, this is a really unstoppable force. Okay, let me show you the spell form. Okay, so now I'm using the spell form. It's kind of red meteorite that deals damage to ground units and burns the area for additional damage. And if the unit, some units die, that can actually cause it to become avatar the avatar of Archon to shown and to fight for some time. Okay, so also pretty powerful thing, but of course it costs, as any spell, it will cost that Archon that you used. You won't get it back. Okay, now we have these high Chanters, and they are kind of form of High Templar. They are pretty much support units. You don't want to use them alone. I just use them alone here because I was testing units. They have, you see, they have damage, and they have this mournful prayer thing that links an allied units, restoring 10 shield per second, and to it and self, reduce the damage taken by the target by 50% as caster has shield, and also restore 5 energy per second for caster when the link exists. So yeah, this is pretty much for support. And also that it Covenant fulfilled that gain 200 additional shield and attack 3 times rapidly when performing next attack. Each attack is stronger than the previous one. So okay, what was I doing? Macroing probably, but yeah, that and this thing, this Covenant fulfilled, this activates when they are attacked in auto cast, and so they can do really nice damage in a short period of time. You can see this ultralist, but it depletes energy pretty much, so you have to combine it with this, and also like they are not very 80 HP, 40 80 shields, 40 HP, so they can die pretty easily. It's better to use them as a support unit for the Archons or something else. Okay, their damage output is decent, but they are more like support unit. Okay, so I'm warping now in a psionic form, but they, as you can see, they just provide shields. With a shield value of 1200 that reduces by 5% per second, and Temporary Blessed Sanctuary that provides invulnerability to friendly units within its range, so it's just a shield, no damage dealt. As you can see, these shields over here, so I still have to kill these things with the mothership. Okay, so now we have some air units except carriers that I already shown you. Okay, I forgot that we actually have Colossi too, so there are Colossi. Colossi are good, very good against ground units, and they have that slow effect. Thermal lance works continuously, but to a single unit, and it gradually increases the weapon range and damage. The maximum of plus 15 range and plus 15 damage, so it's pretty powerful. You see these Thors are going down pretty fast, but the downside, of course, is they are not multi-purpose units. They cannot attack air. And okay, I believe I use the spell form now too. Okay, I'm going for mothership, and the spell form is actually the kinda similar to the solar lance, but that deals a lot more damage, and I think it's 3 shots per one Colossus spend. Yeah, I see that deals 800 damage to enemy units along this path, so it's a lot more powerful than the Carax's solar lance, and reduces the movement speed of nearby enemy units by 90% for 2 seconds. When activated in succession for a short period of time, this ability will use the final point of the last ray as the starting point of the next ray. Yeah, that's a little bit downside actually. You have to use them like that, like zigzag. You can't use this next one as wherever you want, but when the last one finished. So you know, that's a thing with the Colossi. Okay. Okay, now we have Phoenixes and Oracles. I use them both here because the enemy was kinda air enemy also had Phoenixes, so I realized that Oracles alone will not be enough because it's you can see Sky Toss. And they are both kinda supporting things. Phoenixes cannot lift, Oracles can attack only ground. So, I mean, you can finish missions with just these units, but like mass void rays or carriers are much better void rays, I will show you later. And these Phoenixes yeah, have this starlight thing that approach and engage target unit at close range combat, and then it's has more damage and actually countless sparks that 10 damage every 4 seconds, restore the same amount of shield for the wings of star, lasts for 5 seconds, so this is enhanced with this. And I have some 50% chance to ignore incoming damage. So they can be really durable, but I actually prefer the void rays. No, this starlight light is kinda now disabled. I don't know why. I just couldn't click on it for some reason. And I'm going for bonus. And you can see they take some time to kill it. They are not very high damage dealers because this is on a faster speed +2. So and they're not weak, but they're not very strong either. Okay, and here I think I lost a lot of them. Let's see. I think I didn't use the. Okay, I decided to use actually a planetary cracker because this battle wasn't going very well. I mean, these were tempests, so Phoenixes didn't do a lot. Okay, as you see, I have a lot of units now over here, and so the Oracles, they're okay. Well, I'll show you later. I think that will be time. So you see, these Oracles have a specific way of dealing damage. They Echo's Galaxy weapon deals no damage, instead it will reduce the target's movement speed, attack speed, and damage output by 35%. Further attacks increase the percentage by 5 up to 10 stacks. Mission objectives are immune to this effect. And it enhances in time. And also they deploys light field, granting a 60% chance to evade incoming damage from enemy ground units to nearby allied units. So they are really support unit. So this radiance thingy. But in time, these units actually they actually do the damage. They actually by these casual echoes, so yeah, they have to stay locked on the target for some time, and then it will, until some time, it will actually just die. But I mean, in combat, it's pretty long period. They have to stay locked on, so they can, if those units can fight back. There are units, kind of Archons or units like that. They can. Oracles can actually suffer. So they are pretty much support units. I wouldn't use them as standing army, and they're also not very tanky. Yeah, just 60-60, so I have to be careful how to use them.
Need to move against the void shards soon.
I don't think I even won this game. Maybe I did, I can't remember. Okay, let me show you the other things. Okay, now I have to use the Selendis in ground form. So, Eye of Revelation, this is just a revelation that reveals enemies and slows them down actually for 8 seconds and reveals them for a whole minute. That's pretty good. Okay, also I rushed in Selendis. Selendis actually died, but Phoenix is actually do the crashes into, they crash into that area that you selected, and they will delay the damage and spawn a gravity well. That okay, now it's not shown here. I don't think I actually properly tested this ability. Okay, let's see. Yeah, gravity well, and then when the well explodes, it deals 40 damage to enemy units in area. So. And they kind of fight from the orbit, so yeah, it's also pretty powerful. Finishes are not it's not so powerful as for the carriers or colossi, the spells, but the finishes are cheaper, so you can have more of them. So it's not so it is pretty powerful as well. Okay, so these are Phoenixes and Colossi. Now just show you Phoenixes and Oracles. Now just to show you the... Okay, Revelation. You know how Revelation looks, so I don't need to show you that. And so let's get to Void Race. Okay, actually I first tested the support form. Star of Radiance is how what it's called. Termination radiance from orbit towards the target area, dealing 25 damage per second to enemy units nearby, and additional 100 damage to units at center point. And terminating radiance will automatically search for nearby enemy units for an attack lasting 9 seconds. So it's kind of miniature. It's kind of miniature purifier beam over here. So you see this thing. This is the Star of Radiance. I mean, it's pretty good. It's just on small units, but I mean, if they 100 damage per second, it can be devastating against clumped up waves. Yeah, Void Rays are very powerful. You can see they have this thing, Radiant Prism. For every 3 seconds of attack, Void Rays will increase its movement speed by 7%, its range by 2, its base damage by 1, and bonus damage to armored by 2, up to 5 stacks. At 5 stacks, Star of Radiance can move while attack, and will also lose 1 stack of this effect when it takes damage. Okay, so they can have you'll see how big range they can get. It's good to get Mothership in front too, because you can still, I mean, they are normal Void Rays in terms of HP, 150, 100, so if you get Chain Fungal or Storm, they can die. So yeah, all units have shield each, but you see, okay, Parasitic Bomb doesn't do much when they deal damage because they regenerate shield. But okay, look at this range, like they look at this one's. Okay, so okay, you'll see even more over here. I will ravage this best very fast. Yeah, it's good to go Mothership in front to clear most of these spellcasters, and then just Void Rays clear everything. You see how they now fire and they deal tremendous damage. So they will clear this base very fast, so you can use them as multi-purpose unit, just mass them and just be careful not to get them killed by spells. But you see, they destroy, they're probably the biggest damage dealers of all. And similar to the Colossi, they deal damage, but even more, I think, and they can attack both air and ground. They are not so tanky as Colossi, but yeah, they are tremendous damage dealers, so you can ravage enemy bases very fast by using a combo of the mothership's planetary cracker and then the void raids to clean everything that's left. Okay, so that's it, and now the masteries. Okay, here we are. Now I was using first column Legate Harvest Rate or resource cost and time reduction. Now when I'm thinking, the researches are done very fast and you don't use units so early, so I think it may be actually pretty good that I used Legate Harvest Rate instead, but then I don't know if it affects gas, that's the thing. So if it doesn't, then it's not so big. If it does, then it might be good to use that. Or like researchers 30, I don't know, is it 30 seconds or 30% though. Selendis damage or Selendis warping cooldown reduction. I kinda like warping cooldown reduction. Damage is plus, I think this is plus 30 damage. 30, and we have shield overcharge. Grant Selendis force extra shield for 30 seconds after warping in. Or warp haste. This is like Artanis or Raynor's mastery, like speed increase for warping units. So it gives 30% of the energy regeneration and damage and speed to the units when they warp in. So I like to use this warp haste. Okay, so see, everything is 30-30 with Selendis. Okay, yeah, that was it. Of course, I'll be doing some more gameplays because this was just showing the units, and I didn't combine any forces, so I'll do the proper gameplay. I think on some map like Oblivion Express, because on that map I like this pretty good map for testing against waves and also against high HP targets. The trains are so. I mean, definitely we'll be doing more videos of Selendis and proper thing. You can see the gameplay from start to finish. This was kind of introduction of the commander and units. So I hope you liked it. Like and subscribe if you did, and thanks for watching.